Hey everybody, welcome off the rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
Happy 2020 to all of you out there who've been watching us for at least a year, or if you're new and you've just joined us, welcome to the show where I, Sal, recommend comics and talk about them with here, Tiffany.
Yeah,
I mean, I know I could have let you introduce yourself,
it's
but
fine.
yeah,
It's good.
whatever.
I'm still getting over a cold, so that's fine with me.
So am I. Yep, that's right. The holidays were fantastic. We got sick and it ruined the holidays.
It did not ruin the holidays. The holidays were not ruined, and I
No.
got sick post-holidays.
That's fair. But in any case, welcome to the show. This is a show where we take comics from the past week, recap, review them, let you know what we thought about them, and then give you recommendations of books that are coming out this week that we think you should pick up on New Comic Book Day. That's on Wednesdays, by the way.
Yeah.
Unless there's a holiday, in which case.
Which just happened.
Yeah,
That was crazy.
I know. By the way, at the top of the show, we're going to mention our sponsors of today's episode, which is actually you out there who are watching the show live. If you are watching the show live, welcome. You are one of the lucky few who have caught the show as it's happening in real time. Something could happen, and we couldn't edit it out. It's happening right now. You'd be seeing it real right now. But what you could do real right now is actually sponsor the show by using the Super Chats. If you use the Super Chat, make a question or a comment, we can read it here on the show. We'll make it happen, have a real genuine connection between the two of us, three of us, if that's the case.
Yeah.
And also we'll use the Scratch to pay for lighting and stuff. It'll be a huge help. With that said, let's jump into today's episode. We've got a whole bunch of books that came out this past week. We didn't talk about a couple of them last week that did come out.
Yeah.
I didn't talk about Last Night on Earth #3.
Okay.
It's the last issue of the 3-issue Black Label, Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo. This is our last mic drop on Batman.
Right.
I don't believe that for a second. You're a bunch of liars. That being said, the third issue was fine. The whole series was basically just like kind of wouldn't it be cool? It's like an Elseworldsian kind of look at Batman and the DC universe through a Batman lens. And if you're looking at it like that, that's cool, I guess. In issue 3, they imply or outright suggest, in fact, that Bruce Wayne's understanding, he learns a secret, a horrifying secret about his parents' murder, and it breaks him as a person.
Okay.
And that's what causes the fall of the DC universe entirely. Not because, like, Grant Morrisonianly speaking, like, that fundamentally changes the fabric of DC itself, but rather that Bruce Wayne becomes, like, an asshole and, like, ruins everything. But then, like, a cloning program makes new Batman, who's been the Batman for the past 3 issues.
Oh.
And so he's here and he's going to fight him.
Yeah. I read the first issue with that, and then I was like, yeah, I'll wait.
Yeah, pass. That's how I felt when I read this first issue. I'm like, I can skip this, but I kept reading it, and you know what? Like, Capullo's art is really, really great. He's bringing his A game on this. It's a really awesome looking series.
Yes.
And it has a lot of like fun, neat stuff in there. A lot of neat like little, that's cool. Oh, look at that. Oh, I like that stuff. Will it all pay off? Not at all in any way. But like, would it be satisfying if they did? Like, do you really want to see the red tornado of flashes that is like a time storm?
Right.
Not necessarily. Right. That's a cool idea, but like, I promise you, whatever story you're cooking up in your head is way better than what they would have done. So there's a lot of like neat pitches out there. I would, if the Tales from the Dark Multiverse succeeds as a series, as like a line, that's where they're all going to come from now on. It'll all just be like, Tales of the Last Night.
Right.
And it'll just be, here's this. How will the fall of the Amazons? What's up with that?
Right.
Why is it the entire Bat family made it? That kind of thing. Otherwise, at the end of the day, it was kind of fun, and ultimately, it didn't really say a lot. It was kind of just a popcorn munching book.
Okay.
But otherwise, neat book, but yeah, not in any way, in no way worth like writing home about, or buying week to week, or month to month, or every other month.
Right, which I did not.
Yeah, but I did, and I could have just, I probably could have just bought the trade. And I should. I do wish that it was an oversized.
Yeah, and I know you've mentioned that before, and it's funny because I'm kind of spoiled on that because a lot of the ones that I pick up are, not all of the Hill House comics are.
No.
But I like that format a lot. Like, I love the oversized. I know that makes it difficult for collectors at times,
It does. I mean, you put it on the shelf, it's not going to fit.
Well, yeah.
I have a whole special shelf just for large format Black Label and Marvel graphic novels from the 80s.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a mess.
But I like them.
But I do like them too.
Well, I like them in particular because I think it gives the artist a chance to like stretch their muscles a little bit because they don't have to conform to the same format that they've always used.
Exactly.
Like, they get a chance to be like, oh, let me explore the space.
Yeah, that's right. Explore the space.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fine. I recommend it if you like Batman, if you like alternate reality DC stories, if you like Deceased and stuff, you're probably gonna like this. It's neat.
Yeah, but you could trade weight on it at this
point.
point.
Totally. Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't go hunt it down.
Yeah.
I didn't even buy it in physicals. I only bought the digitals.
Oh, you're not getting that signed.
Nah, that's fine. I wasn't gonna. The reality is, I'm not gonna get any of them signed.
Okay.
I don't know. Did I ever get the Batman signed? I've met Scott like on 3 separate non-consecutive occasions. I don't think I have a single book by him signed.
I do.
I know.
I do.
You do.
I have witches.
Yes. No Batmans.
No Batman. I just have witches.
Yeah. I did get a selfie last time. Literally, we were at New York Comic Con. We were talking, and he's like, I guess we should probably do the selfie thing. And I'm like, that would actually be kind of cool. And he's like, how long have we known each other? I'm like, a few years. He's like, well, here we go. Yeah. Snap.
There you go.
I'm like, thank you. Could you sign my Batman? No, I didn't do that. But before we get started into the rest of the books that actually came out this week, I wanted to give a special shout and a thank you to Saud Al-Thani, who gave us $500 in the super chat. Thank you, man. Not only was that incredibly generous, but also you've been a major fervent supporter of this show and this channel for many years, and we're very, very indebted to you. We're lucky to have you, man.
No, thank you.
Says, hey guys, Sal, I'm glad to see you're feeling better. I am feeling better. I was a disaster.
He really was. It was real bad.
It was bad. I had to take antibiotics. It was a nightmare.
Well, I went from a cold to bronchitis.
It always does. I can never just have a cold.
This one was really particularly bad.
It was bad.
And I staved it off for quite a while, and then Ben got me sick.
Yeah, I spent Christmas Eve in bed.
You did.
I didn't get to see my family. I didn't do anything.
It was New Year's that did me in.
Yes, it did.
And then, a couple days later, it was all over.
No, it's true. But man, thank you very, very much. Thank you so much for your generosity, your continued generosity.
Yeah.
But specifically in this instance, thank you for this specific generosity.
Yes, and for the well wishes.
That's true.
I appreciate that.
No, and we know it's from a genuine place. Thank you, man. Jumping into books, what do you want to start with?
I'm going to talk about something that came out also over Christmas.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Real quick, because a lot of people were wondering what I thought.
Oh yeah, I forgot there's another book that came out, but yeah, go for it.
I'm going to talk about Doctor Strange, Surgeon Supreme.
Why not?
Doctor Strange #1. We're renumbering. We're back to #1 again. It's by Mark Waid and Kev Walker. So the story is by Kev Walker and Mark Waid.
Yes.
With art by Java or Hava Tartaglia.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah, I feel like they need like phonetic spellings in these. So this book, I mean, like here. All right. So we all know I was kind of cold on the Waid run, and I know a lot of people really dug it, and that's absolutely okay.
The trade for that final run just came out.
It did. So you could go grab that if you were really into it. But I was kind of cold on the Mark Waid run. I was just kind of like, all right.
Seen this before, or seen it better, or didn't want to see it in the first place.
Exactly. But those last couple of issues like had some shades of like something possibly better, like it was just kind of standalone stories that Waid was telling, and like while they were flawed to me, I thought they were a little stronger than the rest of the work he had done to date. This issue came out, and I'm so torn on it.
Yeah.
Like literally, part of me is like, cool, I'm kind of invested, and I like to see where this goes, and I feel like this is Waid, kind of getting back into writing Strange.
Right.
There's another part of me that was like, I saw this already in issue 1 of Aaron and Bocciolo's
Didn't
run.
he do that already? Wasn't there like when Strange showed up in his, or when Waid showed up on Strange?
Yeah.
Didn't the death of magic happen all over again?
Yes. Now, this in particular, what makes me get those vibes is the some of the art style and some of the stuff that we're seeing. I remember in that first issue of Strange when we really get to see Strange walking around. It's like in this monotone world with like magic being the colored items and like elements within the world.
Yes.
And that's what we see here.
Right.
We see Strange seeing the world as only he can. And like
That's
now
cool.
he is in the midst of, now he's got his hands back thanks to a deal with the demon he made, and he realizes that at some point probably the other shoe's going to drop, but I'm going to embrace this and go for it.
Yep.
And try to manage being the Sorcerer Supreme and also helping out in various ways, and only the ways that Dr. Stephen Strange, could. No, not in the magical sense. Literally, he's like, okay, anytime there's a surgery that like literally nobody could do, give me a call and I'll come and do it. I won't use magic at all.
Didn't he, like, I guess your medical license doesn't expire just because you became Sorcerer
No,
Supreme.
I don't think it does. I think you're fine. But like for him, he's like, the Hippocratic Oath doesn't have like an expiration date on it, so I'm still bound to that, so I need to help people.
Sure.
And so basically he's like, I'll go to work occasionally. I won't use magic because I don't want to risk like opening that doorway where like, you know, either the patient has to make the payment for the magic I do or whatever. And I'm like, that's kind of interesting and a good excuse, I suppose. And he also like, you know, he has to travel from place to place because like he was like, I thought of putting a door directly into the hospital in the sanctum, but like doors open both ways, so I'm not going to do that either. So he's like just like running a balancing act right now. But like literally, I remember in Botchel's work, he was looking around and he's walking around in the streets and he'd be like, you know, talking about how like someone had depression or they're not feeling well, and it because like there was like some magical entity attached to them.
Yes.
And literally Strange is seeing a patient who has a glioblastoma tumor, which is an incredibly aggressive tumor which most people don't come back from. It's literally it's a death sentence. Strange is going to perform an operation on him. When he looks at the guy, there's a huge magical entity attached to him.
Didn't Wong have a brain tumor?
Yeah. At one point.
Vaughn's Run.
In the Oath, yeah. But like, regardless, there's a tumor, but it has a magical entity attached to it.
Right.
And instead of dealing with the entity, he's literally going to perform the surgery on him. He's going to perform a surgery that like is said it's not possible, but he can do it because he's Stephen Strange, the greatest surgeon in the world.
Yeah.
And he does the surgery, and like, you know, he doesn't want to use magic because again, he doesn't want to be surprised or have anything like that, you know, happen and such. And like, he's pretty much exhausted. So he has an assistant for his medical practice who is seemingly the way he's drawn. It's another Asian individual who's wearing green, who is his assistant, who's allowed to ask him like one CAPE question a day.
Is that like a deal because they kept wanting to ask more questions?
Yeah, and so Strange was like, you can ask one a day.
Okay.
And so like, and I'm like, that's a cute element, but again, like, this is where I'm like, I'm struggling because it's like I get that we like each time someone takes over Strange, they want to add a new character, or they want to add like a new partner to Strange, and I get that because they want to explore new like relationships with Doctor Strange.
Well, and they want to get paid because that character could be used in a movie or cartoon.
No, it's true, but I honestly think that like the sidekick to Doctor Strange is often very interesting because Strange struggles with having relationships with individuals, and depending on how quirky or not quirky they are, can really like play well in terms of dialogue. So I get that
totally.
But I'm like, at the same time, you basically like introduce almost a Wong substitute. I'm like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
Weird, whatever. Well, what the hell happens here? Oh, at one point, like, there's like a huge like calamity that happens in New York, and like all these patients are being rushed to the hospital, and Strange basically spends 24 hours like on the ER floor, like helping everyone anywhere he can. And when he's chatting with like someone about it, like they're like, nobody knows what's causing it. Like literally, like when the you know emergency response teams get there, there's like nothing really to rescue. Like people are just decimated. And he's like, oh, okay, it's time for Strange to step up. Strange is out of the Wade costume. Bizarre.
We just dropped the Wade costume.
We dropped the Wade costume.
But
like
we also
dropped
the Aaron costume.
It's kind of this mixture of that like kind of updated tunic, but harkens back to the old like, you know, strange blue shirt that we have at a TeePublic store, shirt that he has, and the cape, or like, you know, the cloak of levitation and all of that. But it's a little more updated, I would say. I kind of dig it. We return to the yellow gloves, like the whole thing. And I'm like, okay, cool. Again, I'm like, these are all improvements, right? But they're improvements based on stuff I've kind of seen already, and I can't tell if I'm just jaded at this point, or if I'm just happy that it's something I'm sort of familiar with and excited to see more of. It's that, like, being a fan sometimes is just wanting the same thing over and over again.
True.
But you also want innovation, and so like it's this balancing act. And so like while I want the same thing over and over again, I also want something new, but I don't want that new thing to be not what I'm expecting, I guess.
Right.
And again, that's like the struggle of being a fan sometimes. So like I'm really on the fence about this book. At the end of the day, he finds this little girl who like watched her dad be like destroyed, and like she ends up like, you know, he like makes her go to sleep and tries to take her memories from her because it's like
it's just so horrible.
Yeah. And then the like villain shows up, and it's the Wrecker,
The Wrecker?
The Wrecker.
Of the Wrecking Crew?
The Wrecker shows up, literally, and he has his crowbar, but it's different. Like,
is he gonna wreck him?
Yeah, he's gonna wreck him. He's gonna wreck it. And then Fix It Felix will show up, and it's totally cool. Don't worry about it.
Right. I guess Strange is Felix in this case.
Yeah. So anyway, the Wrecker's crowbar is typically, I guess, enchanted, but this time it's enchanted in a different way, and he's like total control over it, and it's like kind of OP.
Okay.
And like Strange tries to use the Crimson Band of Sidorak, he breaks through it, no problem. He like beats the hell out of Strange and then throws him in the river.
Okay.
And like that's where we leave Strange, where it's like, oh, he's also like he's wrapped up in rebarb, so it's like, oh no, how will he escape from that? Now that I kind of find to be interesting because that's a very Harry Houdini sort of situation to be in,
yeah.
and I kind of dig that as like a throwback to like the magician of like, you know, magic and such like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, he has to escape from this, haha. Like I get it and I kind of dig it. I'm still, again, I'm on the fence about it because like I'm just like, oh, okay, it looks like Wade has gotten comfortable. Maybe it's the introduction of having Kev Walker in there. Maybe like the two of them working together are tempering Wade's like original desires, or maybe that wasn't what Wade wanted to do at all by sending him into space. Maybe this is more akin to what he wants to do.
Yeah.
Suffice it to say, if you like the Wade run, I'm not sure how you're going to feel about this one because this feels like returning back to calling to what Aaron did, but coming out of Wade's mouth.
Yeah.
So I'd say at least give it the first issue. I know I'm going to continue reading it, see where this goes, but this gives me, I guess, more hope.
Cool. Okay. Seems better than the last run.
Right?
Of his.
And again, I know a lot of people disagreed with me on that, and like I get it. Like,
not like, yeah.
No, not like in a way where it was like,
it wasn't a lot.
No, but I mean, like there were people who just really, really dug it.
Cool. That's fair. Kane's World in the super chats says, here to keep the lights on, your thirst quenched, catch the VOD as you keep dropping for me and I have to refresh every 2 minutes. So I'm sorry to hear that. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to the recast. It could be the internet. I don't know. We have a clear signal strength, so it's probably, I hate to say it, but on your end. But lower your resolution settings if you do have any problems in the future.
It's okay. We look okay on potatoes.
Yeah. That's fair. Jumping back into the books, another book that came out last week that I guess we should probably talk about is a book called Incoming!
You had some time to actually read this when you told me how long it was and the fact that you were like down for the count, and I was like, all right, I'll do all the holidays. Here we go.
Yeah.
When you told me how long it was, I was like, that's literally not happening.
Yeah, no.
It's just not happening.
Incoming. Okay, so Incoming is basically one part Identity Crisis from DC, and another part, here's a catalog of everything that's coming out right now at Marvel. Mm-hmm. It's literally that. It's like, here's a preview of every single book that Marvel's publishing. That's why it's 85 pages, because there's 85 comics a month.
Yeah. Wait, 85 comics?
No, I'm just making a joke. The fact that like Marvel puts out too many comics a month. Man, if people are complaining about like the all different era being like focused on these new generations of heroes, then they're gonna hate it right now because it's like Robbie Reyes is here and Jane Foster Valkyrie and Ms. Marvel's doing a thing and like, there's all this stuff happening and it's all kind of focused on them. You know, Cap's in it too, I guess, and Daredevil's kind of a factor, but for the most part, it's everything that Marvel has looked like for the last 5 to 10 years.
Right.
It's a murder mystery / who gives a shit. Also, it's like $10, but it's $10 for 85 pages, which is kind of cool. Like you get a lot of stuff for about $10. If you want to know, if you need to know what's happening at Marvel right now, you might need to get it. If you want to get caught up about what's happening at Marvel right now, not a bad way to jump on because it'll tell you what's happening in this. It'll tell you what's happening in every book across the board. It'll tell you about like Deadpool being in charge of Monster Island, being like on Flying Island or whatever. It'll talk you about about how Daredevil's not really Daredevil right now.
Yeah.
You know, it'll do a lot of stuff. It's neat. Overall, I don't really care, but like it's. I mean, like, really, it's just kind of like, oh, cool, a murder mystery with all this other stuff on it. I think without all that stuff, it's still going to be like Identity Crisis, where it's like, oh, man, somebody at Marvel, like someone in the Marvel Universe is killed. Kind of like Original Sin, but it's not anyone you care about nearly as much.
Right.
But it's a murder mystery that kicks off, you know, like the stuff that was kicked off in Marvel Comics 1000 from Al Ewing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jason Aaron, Saladin Ahmed, Ed Brisson, Donnie Cates, Al Ewing, Eve Ewing, Jonathan Hickman, Teenie Howard, Greg Pak. Like, they say that everybody worked together to write this. No.
Kelly Thompson, Chip Zdarsky.
Yeah, they each got pages in the book to write their book.
Right, but I mean, like, they had to have some cohesion, right? Because it's not like it stops and then starts another story, right? So, like, they did have to technically work together.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, it's true. And it's neat. It's cool.
I do say it's kind of interesting because it's like, you know, kicking off. I mean, like, you said this came out though in December, or did this come out?
Yeah, it came out in December.
Okay. They are kind of kicking off the year, but like showing off, like, you know, this is our team right now. Like,
right.
This is who's writing. This is the creative.
Yeah,
people
this
that we
is
have.
and it's, by the way, pretty good hands. Like, if
No,
people are
I
complaining about like
agree.
Marvel and where it is right now, you could do worse than having like Al Ewing and Hickman and Zdarsky.
Yeah.
With a couple of mainstays like Kelly Thompson, who's also excellent. Greg Pak, who, you know, hit or miss depending.
Yeah.
Did I mention Cates?
Yeah,
know,
obviously.
Aaron,
they're great, but it's like that's kind of a cool like way to get some folk in.
Yeah.
So like maybe writers they don't typically read.
Right.
By like tempting them with this like 85-page comic where you can kind of get a little sampling of what those writers and these creators have to offer.
Yeah.
It could also work against them, but like it's an interesting concept.
True.
It is unfortunate that it wasn't like, you know, great.
No, I mean, you know, it's funny. Like it was pretty engaging, and the pages went by fast.
Right.
So, and that's really all you can ask for.
Okay.
It was a valiant effort, and I'm not sad I got it. It's just kind of like I don't know what I'm waiting for.
Okay.
You know, especially because, you know, I'm kind of waiting for Marvel to realign and get back to where I remember it. You know, like I'm kind of like, okay, when are you gonna bring Uatu back? You just reminded me of Original Sin. Hey, Uatu's still dead.
Yeah.
Fix that. Hey, Doctor Strange's wearing jeans. Put him in black pants. Like, you know, just align something.
so-
She-Hulk is still a giant monster.
I
Like,
don't-
make
I
her
don't-
sexy again. I don't know. Like,
I
it's
don't
just
mind like the casual like slack wearing
that's
Strange.
fair.
I'm okay with that.
you don't mind the jeans, because that's what it looked like in that book. It looks
In
like
that
wearing
book?
jeans and sneakers.
Yeah, you know, but like he got to me, it was a huge step in the right direction because
Right.
the tunic was
He's
back.
got the tunic and the cape.
Yeah, I was like, okay, we're good.
We're fixing it.
But still, it was a different version of it. Like, so like I was okay with it.
Yeah.
It's also like way easier to cosplay if you're gonna do it.
Oh, definitely.
Everybody's got jeans.
Yeah, right?
I guess not everybody.
And if you have that Marvel box, you have a bathrobe that is the cloak of
Oh
levitation.
yeah. Oh yeah. And you're just comfy Strange.
Shockingly accurate, by the way.
It really is. It's excellent.
But yeah.
But yeah. So all right.
So incoming. All right.
What are they gonna do? Are they gonna do a number 2, or are they just doing that?
No,
thing
I
where
think that was just
they
it.
just label it number 1.
Mm-hmm. They're all number ones because when you order your books, you need to know what issue it is in the series.
But if it's just incoming,
Yeah.
why do you need a number on it?
Because it's a one shot. Because technically that's the first issue of the series called Incoming.
That's
Even if
what
it's a
I'm saying.
one shot,
Okay.
it needs to have a number on it.
So the next incoming will also be
There will never be another Incoming.
Oh.
It's just what's incoming is the status quo for Marvel.
Okay. I don't care for that.
But yeah. So, yeah.
What else you got?
Star Wars came out.
Yeah, I like. Part of me was like, I'm gonna read this, and part of me was like, I don't want to read this because I like the thing I remember.
Yeah.
And my hood. That just like upset me so much. My hood fell off because it's like this literally takes the place of Shadows of the Empire, which
Yep.
I'm a big fan of. I get it though. Like this is just money on the table, like availability for them to craft their own story.
Yes.
And I'm not gonna judge it because I haven't read it, but like I was like a little petulant child who was just like, no.
Oh no, it's not worth it at all.
Oh.
No, it's not even close to Shadows.
Really?
Yeah, no, it's okay. If you were before Shadows existed, what we're referring to, by the way, is called Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah.
The Shadows of the Empire phenomena was something to behold. Watch Mr. Sunday's video about it. But like before that happened, you just kind of had to assume what happened in between Empire and Jedi, and rightfully so, because like that's all you had.
Yeah, you
and
kinda
really
put the pieces together.
it was easy to contextualize. You had a giant opening crawl, you had, you know, the movie to contextualize it for you. But Shadows, like, I don't know, it was brazen and fun, and it like didn't care about what, you know, it was just kind of like, here's something. And it was like, let's do these things. And you know, the world of Star Wars was opened up after Jedi. Like after that, like you know, fandom kind of like fell into all these cracks, like, oh, I prefer the Empire, I like these bounty hunters, you know, all this stuff. And so they were able to align it all into this thing. And now that you've like kind of thrown that all away, it's like, well, we have to look at it with fresh eyes, but also recontextualize in the world of the prequels, the new trilogy, and even the memory of the expanded universe. I think Charles Soule did the first Star Wars series, which was between A New Hope and Empire.
Right.
So it would stand to reason they would do another series between Empire and Jedi. But like, if you didn't have Shadows and you were asked, hey, what happened in between Empire and Jedi? Just if you were a casual Star Wars fan in call it 85.
Yeah.
All the way up to like, I think 1993 or whatever. They would say, I don't know, they fought the Empire. I'm sure like there was a new general that showed up they had to fight. They probably didn't trust Lando right away.
Okay.
You know, and then eventually they caught up with Han.
Yeah. And they got some new costumes.
That's what this is.
What?
It's just, oh. So, like, it literally, the first issue from Charles Soule is, you know, it's a few seconds after Luke's hand gets cut off and they escape the Empire, and it's before Lando puts on Han's clothes for no good reason whatsoever, but it, you know, it doesn't happen in this issue. But like, basically we're in a new place where like Luke is really sad. You know, he found out that Vader's his father.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be sad about.
And he's
Obi-Wan
really
lied to him.
Yeah, and in Shadows, Luke kind of takes it pretty much in stride. You know, he's like, that sucks, but like, I got shit to do. You know, I gotta figure out what being a Jedi's all about, and I gotta figure out what this means, and I gotta help Han.
Right.
In this, it's like, I guess it's his lowest point, and he's really sad. And Ben wouldn't respond to him when he called out in Empire, so he's really focusing on that.
Right.
He was like, Yoda and Obi-Wan lied to me. Yoda says that I'm not really even a Jedi, so where does that leave me in the universe?
Right.
I even lost my lightsaber. What am I supposed to do now?
Well, then really Yoda wasn't wrong. I'm just saying.
Right. But it's just like, I don't know. You know, like, there's a lot of talking in circles where like Lando's like, we got to get out of here. We're being chased by Imperials. And Leia's like, I don't even know if we can trust you. And he's like, I gave up my entire city to save you guys. And she's like, yeah, but I don't even know if we can trust you though. And like, that happens like at least 3 different times.
At what point does Chewie just go to the cockpit and fly them away?
Chewie constantly yells at Lando for being a jerk. Eventually, our plucky, intrepid team trying to rendezvous with the rebellion, but the rebellion is caught in a big fight with the Empire, who is led by a new general or whatever, who is like a tactician, and she's brilliant and cool, and she's got them right where they want them. But then the Falcon shows up, and they blow a hole in their plans, and everybody gets away.
Okay.
You know? And she calls Vader, and she tells him, and Vader's like, good luck. I'm probably going to kill you at the end of this.
He's killed people for less.
Yes. There is one moment I kind of like, but it's like with the clunkiest dialogue I've ever seen in a Star Wars story. Lando says to because like they're not really getting around very well in this dogfight, surrounded by Imperials, and so Lando insists on flying the Millennium Falcon because like he should have done that originally,
right?
You know, because he was originally the pilot of the Millennium Falcon. So Lando tries to convince Chewie by saying, Chewie, you need to let me pilot. You remember how good I used to be at flying? I'm better now.
How? You've been an administrator.
Yeah, but no, I also flew stuff.
Okay.
But basically he says like, if I fail or I hurt, you know, our chances, you can rip my arms off, which I guess Chewie's excited about.
He's like, I'm ripping someone's arms off.
Yeah, but Chewie basically indicates like, all right, you can sit down.
Okay.
It's incredibly clunky. The facial capture, I don't even know if it's like drawing so much as it is just like pulling images, but like the facial captures for Lando and Leia are perfect.
Okay.
Everybody else, meh. I don't know why it's so hard for people to draw 3PO, but it's been a problem in Star Wars comics forever.
Okay.
Vader's rendered in perfection because obviously we're using like pictures from movies and stuff, so we better at least get Vader right. He's a drawing. He's a photograph. We're good.
Right.
But basically they're screwed and they can't get out of there. So then Luke reaches out with the Force and kills all the TIE fighters. Oh no, he's so sad he might be leaning towards the dark side.
Okay.
So then they all escape. And they find out that basically the Empire has broken their secret codes, so they can't communicate with the fleet.
Right. I wonder if this is an attempt to make Luke's behavior after Jedi before the new trilogy make more sense. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if this is a way for them to be like, this is kind of how Luke handles his problems or what have you. Instead of like going with what they had before, which is again, it was a different time. It was a different time. It was like it was the Wild West of like writing anything in the expanded universe. Because they were just whatever, write it. Yeah, green light that, go for it.
Right.
So I get it. Them trying to like pull it all together. So I guess we'll just see where this goes.
Yeah. Yeah, I won't be reading anymore.
Okay.
I don't care. Like, Star Wars is so dead in my heart. I'm just kind of like, I read it because it's the first issue. It's a Star Wars book, and like, let's see how they tried to measure up to Shadows. Mm-hmm. They compared to Shadows, it's a flat out face plant. Like, it's not even close to as interesting or fun as Shadows, like at all. Soul is trying his hardest to make it like this emotional, gripping tale about, oh no, Luke is sad.
Right.
I've seen Luke sad. I've seen Luke whiz an entire trilogy. I would rather watch the Luke that I like in the movies that I like. Please.
Right.
How did they get it right 25 years ago? That being said, meh. Like, it's a big meh. But like, of course it is. Because like, at the end of the day, you can't tell more Star Wars stories.
Right. I mean, though, for a lot of people, this is going to be what happened.
That's the thing.
There.
That's the part that like makes me like that makes me refuse to give it a pass. Is that like this is gonna be the replacement for Shadows?
Yeah. Well, it won't even be a replacement because they won't know it's a replacement.
Right.
It'll just be the thing.
Hey, did you want to read? It's like, think about. You remember when Star Wars Infinities came out, which was the what if for Star Wars from Dark Horse?
Yes.
Well,
I don't remember
if you
that,
don't,
I know about it.
If you don't, it's a stupid thing, and they tried it, and it was like, why not? No one remembers that. That's what Shadows is now. It's a what if for Star Wars. And it's like, you know how hard it was to get people to read Infinities? It's exactly as hard to get anyone to read the Expanded Universe, those novels, or any of the old stuff.
Right.
Because like, hey, you want to read something that like used to matter to the old guard of Star Wars fandom? Mm-hmm. Like, do you want to read that? It doesn't matter or mean anything, and they're not referencing anything, but like,
But it is still a good story.
But it is kind of cool, though.
It's a good story. Like, what if there was this green guy who had like pheromones and like hated Vader?
I am 100% positive that Shizor will show up.
You think so?
Yeah. Thrawn showed up in the Rebels cartoon.
Well, I mean, I think Thrawn is like an overall, like, people dig him like kind of across the board. More people are kind of aware of him.
Yeah.
Shizor really only shows up in one story. Granted, it's a story, it's a comic, it's a video game.
And then
there's toys.
There's a Shadows 2 in the comics.
Well, in the comics.
Yeah, there's no book.
But you know what I mean? Like, so I get them pulling Thrawn. I think he's like a fan favorite.
Yeah.
Across the board.
Yeah. I think so. But meh. I can't recommend it.
You can't, okay.
But like it's competently made.
Okay.
If I were a new Star Wars fan, I'd be like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then I read Shadows and be like, oh my god.
Yeah.
That's way more fun. By the way, in the Super Chats, Adam Asamoah says, who would you put in charge of the Ultimate Universe today? I'd put Donny Cates on the Ultimate X-Men, Al Ewing on Ultimate 4, Chip Zdarsky on Ultimate Spider-Man, Nick Spencer on the Ultimates. That sounds like a good deal.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't resurrect the Ultimate Universe at this point. Because, like, the Ultimate Universe was essentially a way for Marvel to try and maintain relevancy. and now they're the most relevant. Like, I don't know if there's even room for an Ultimate Universe. Like, since Marvel's not afraid to do anything at any point forever, what is the place of the Ultimate Universe now? Like, if the Ultimate Universe is supposed to see your favorite characters doing something you've never seen them do before, that's kind of what they're doing now.
Okay.
Peter Parker was the head of a multi-billion-dollar corporation in the real universe.
Yeah.
There's nothing in Ultimate Spider-Man that's more different than that. And that happened in canon.
To kind of like build on this question, I might take. I mean, like, I like all these picks, so it's kind of hard, but I kind of want to put Donny Cates someplace else, because I personally want to put Kelly Thompson on X-Men, because I just like her voice for the X-Men and her love of, like, nostalgia for the X-Men.
So that'd be kind of cool to see her redo it.
Yeah.
Like, reimagine the X-Men.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I would just like to see it again. It probably wouldn't work out. Probably wouldn't pan out. But
no.
I kind of want to just see how that would go.
But I would leave Zdarsky on Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I might also be like, you know what? We're not going to do any of the Ultimate books that we did.
Oh.
Like, okay, the Ultimate line was like Ultimate X-Men, Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate Fantastic Four. We're not going to do those. Like, let's do Ultimate Doctor Strange. Like, let's do
Ultimate
an action.
Defenders? Did they do Defenders?
They did not.
Oh.
I mean, depending on what version you're talking about, the Defenders kind of did happen.
Okay.
The Bendis Defenders. Like, they called them the Ultimate Knights or something like that, or whatever.
I'm talking like some classic.
Yeah,
Defenders.
no. But, like, yeah, Ultimate Silver Surfer, do some Ultimate stuff there.
Like, the Ultimate line is not going to last very long with this lineup that we've just...
No, that's true. Yeah, but there was never an Ultimate Daredevil book, really. I mean, there was, like, a couple of books, like a couple of issues.
Okay.
But not, like, a run. There was no Doctor Strange run. There was no...
Did you ever do an Ultimate Punisher run?
Nope. Nope, they didn't.
Kind of interesting to
Would've
see
been
Frank
cool.
in that universe.
Yeah, Bendis did it, and he clearly had, like, nothing but disdain for Frank. So, like, every time Frank showed up in Ultimate Spider-Man, he was, like, this monosyllabic jackass.
Well, it'd be nice if someone had respect for Frank and then...
Well, like, I
understood his character. And
I
then
appreciate Bendis' interpretation, because he's like, no, he's a thug who sucks.
Well, but that's his interpretation. It's the chance to make him not that.
Well, yeah, I agree. No.
Like, that's what the Ultimates was to, like, get a chance to retell these stories, not keep them exactly the same as they were.
Oh, no, I agree. I mean, like, that would be very cool. I can't argue with that. Jumping back into the Super Chats, but I want to pull up something really quick.
Sure.
I don't have it.
I'm trying to come up with any other... Ultimate. I mean, there's so many opportunities with the Ultimates universe, because like you can take pretty much anything and make it into the Ultimates, and you could just take things that literally would never sell. Like you could do like Ultimate Next Wave and like.
I mean, like just bring back. Yeah, just bring back Next Wave. That'd be cool.
Oh, and then you could really start screwing with people and just putting too many labels on books. And you could do like Ultimate Marvel Knights or like Ultimate Marvel Max. Where it's like, wait, who is this for?
Right.
He's making it an Ultimate book, but you're also saying it's a Marvel Max book? Be like, yeah, no, try to make that, parse that one.
Yeah.
It's a bad idea.
I agree. Nachikate Naik says, just got my Bloodshot giveaway poster. Thanks, guys. Also, I wrote a short comic story getting published in an anthology by One Ship Press, so doubly happy.
Oh,
well,
gosh,
congratulations. That's fantastic. And I'm glad you got your poster. I know that somebody else in the chat also mentioned that they got their poster. So
that's great.
I'm happy to hear that Valiant
that you got the posters,
through.
no problem. But also, congratulations on publishing your first work, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to
short
assume
story
anything.
in
But
an
that's
anthology.
great.
It's fantastic.
Congrats.
TARDIS Man 85, Infinities is dumb, and I love every panel. Yeah, it is dumb, and I also love every panel. I love it for how stupid it is. It's so stupid. It's a great idea. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, what if Star Wars? But also, like, it's a horrible execution.
Right.
Horrible.
Right. For some reason, I always get that. I don't know why, because it doesn't make any sense. And those Unleashed figures, like, I'm just like, yeah, no, that's what that. Nope, nothing.
Those Unleashed figures, man. The
ridiculous.
The Darth Vader one is great.
Yeah, but they're ridiculous.
The Chewbacca one is not.
Yeah, no.
He's like.
Yeah, he's very. It's just all over the place.
Cash Money in the Bank says, to be honest, surprised they went with the more original trilogy expansion. Seems like ongoing in the time frame of the sequel trilogy would do a lot. Strike while the iron's hot. Yeah, that would have made sense. I mean, like, really, like, but I think that they were like, well, all of the movies we're gonna make are probably gonna take place someplace between Jedi and the sequel trilogy.
I would say also it could be that listen, for the most part, people really like the original trilogy. Regardless of how you feel about the rest of Star Wars, you probably have some sort of appreciation for those films. So this is pretty safe.
Yes.
This is a safe place to be right now.
That's right.
Like, there's not as much division within the original trilogy. It's kind of when you get on either side of it that, like, the fans start kind of, infighting a little bit more so. So I feel like this is probably just a safer bet for them to go with.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So... before we get into that...
No, yeah, there's more.
There's one more I want to chat about real quick.
Right.
Because Philadelphia #2 came out, and it's just as excellent as ever, but I know there's like 2 more books we're going to talk about, and then I think we're going to chat about the trailer that dropped today. So just wanted to mention that if you didn't pick up #2. I want to talk about Justice League Dark, #18.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like we're slowly coming to the end of either Justice League Dark or Tynan's run on it. I think he has till 21.
Yes.
Which is a really weird number to stop on.
Yeah, well.
Okay.
But he is going to be he's going to be coming back to the book.
Great.
Like
so
he's
it'll
leaving
go
and then
on
he's going to come
hiatus.
back.
Well, because he's seemingly going to be introducing a character. Well, not introducing, but like having a character show up. I think around like issue 20.
Okay.
Maybe 19. I'm not sure. It's Animal
yay!
So like the Wishing War is going to wrap up, and then it's like he's gonna maybe tell like a mini arc.
Okay.
Maybe, and then he'll return to it at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this book just is really the Upside Down Man there chatting with Wonder Woman on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
He like grabs her face at one point and like makes her like make squishy cheeks, and it's just an incrable image.
Because I guarantee it's the first time anyone's ever seen that.
I've never seen Wonder Woman's face like that, where he's just like but he's talking about how like it's like he didn't understand what a lie was until he met humanity.
Oh.
And so like he made a deal with Nabu to like, get control of like the dimension. And he's like, and he said one thing and then did something else. And I thought to myself, what?
What? But he said he was going to do the one thing.
Exactly. And he's like, but I realize that's what you guys are all about. That's what you do. Like, he's like, and then Cersei came to me and she offered me all this stuff and she stood in front of me and said all these things I know she's not going to do.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, let's see where this goes. So now he's like embracing it and he's like, okay, cool. I mean, I'm going to win anyway.
Right.
So who cares? Essentially, like, she makes him an offer.
Okay.
To put her back, because he's like, make me an offer. Come on.
Yeah, come on. I that's what I do. That's kind of my thing.
Make me an offer. Just tell me like I could put you back in your body, right? And you can fix all this, and then you'll just give me something. Come on.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great. So she offers that like she will put into balance the relationship between he and Hecate, how it was meant to be.
Okay.
Because he never really got a chance to play that role. Like, in that capacity where it was like, she was supposed to be, like, all this part of magic, and he was supposed to be all the dark part of magic, and then that didn't happen. Mm-hmm. And she just kind of took all of it, and she's like, we'll fix that, and we'll make it real. And he's just like, well, that's not possible. So then what are you going to give me? And she's like, if I can't deliver that, then I'll just get out of your way.
Okay.
And let you eat magic.
Oh, what?
Because she's, like, so sure.
That they're going to, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So meanwhile, the rest of the Justice League Dark team has, like, fallen behind doors that are like magically sealed and like all that stuff, and they're in basically the magical armory,
right? And
they're trying to figure out what they're gonna do. Dr. Fate, well, ex-Dr. Fate, is like doing everything he can to keep the door sealed and also keep Kirk out because like he is a crazy bat.
Right,
creature.
yeah. As I recall, he lost control.
Yeah, and Bobo's just a chimpanzee running around right now.
Yes.
They're like, okay, can we do anything about that? They're like, he's like, I really can't do anything about that because I'm doing these other things, so it's really up to you guys.
Yeah.
Cersei and her thrall and her team there are trying to like figure out how to get in, and they just have Solomon Grundy like punching away at the wall, and he's basically a zombie at this point, even more so, and he's decaying rapidly.
Oh no!
And him fighting the wall is making it worse.
Right.
And so like they're like, I'm pretty sure he's going to like be nothing before he actually gets into the doors at this point.
Right, which is kind of dope.
Yeah, I mean like that, he'll just become like a mush.
Yeah.
And
like Wonder Woman's face.
Right, it's whoosh. It's seriously like I love that image so much. Like it's just incredible.
It's just like, how dare you?
it's just so like I was like, what?
Yeah.
I never knew I wanted to see that.
That was the artist definitely took a picture of themselves.
Yeah, just smoosh.
Okay, that's
Okay.
what it looks like. Cool.
Got it. Nailed it.
Yep.
So Cersei is trying desperately to figure out how to get into the gates. And she's like, I got a plan. She's this guy. I got to figure out the history of this dragon, the skeleton that's been hanging up like within the Justice League Dark's headquarters the entire time.
Yeah.
She's like, I got to figure out what undid it. Ah, got it. And she like gives it a coin,
Okay.
and then it reconstitutes itself,
Oh no.
and it's Dracul Carfang. Like Dracul Carfang's like, who bugs me?
Who dares disturb my slumber?
What do you want? What's up? And Cersei's like, hey, cool, hey, great dragon. You want to like help me out here? And the dragon's like, dude, you come to me
what?
in the body of my captor, and like you act like that's cool. Are
Right.
you,
You
like,
think that's
trying
cool?
to provoke me?
What are you gonna take my money now?
Kind of a bad move. Like I
Yeah.
don't get it. But basically, she's like, here's the thing. You help us get in there, and all her friends are in there, and we could take them out. And then I'll leave this body, and you can eat it. And Dragon's like, okay.
Fair enough.
All right, cool. So she uses the dragon, like, fire and starts, like, hammering away at the door. And, like, they're watching this happen. And, like, the Justice League Dark team's like, okay,
We are not equipped for dragon fighting.
dragon.
I don't even have a lance.
We need an arrow, and it has to be a special one, and a certain guy has to fire it at a scale, obviously, that is missing. And,
Right. Yeah.
No.
No.
Basically, Zatanna's like, hey, Constantine, usually you have a horrible plan that'll somehow get us out of it, but it's like the worst thing I could possibly
And only
think
helps
of.
you. Yeah.
What do you got? And he's like, well, I mean, we're in this armory, and each of these items here has basically brought the Justice League to its knees at one point or another. Why don't we just use all of them?
Well, here's why they can't do that. Because in the first volume of Scott Snyder's Justice League, when they established the Hall of Justice, part of the deal they had with making the hall open to the public was that any and all weapons that are on display in the Justice League headquarters have been deactivated or having their firing pins taken out.
These aren't on display.
Ah.
There's a whole, don't forget, Justice League Dark operates below the Hall of Justice. And then this is even further down.
Let's see.
So this is not on display.
Right.
And how do you truly make magic inert? I mean, you can.
I don't know.
If the writer says so. But these are not inert. These are active right now. And like meanwhile, Eclipso's like, use my crystal. Open me up. Come
Is
on,
the
open me
moon
up.
out yet?
Because like Cersei's desperate to get a hold of Eclipso because it's like the power source she needs to kind of get the job done.
Right.
Meanwhile, like we see like they like the Upside Down Man takes the deal essentially. He also like it takes Witchfire and he like grabs her.
Oh no.
And he's like, come here, I'll show you what I'm gonna do. And he like bites into her and she's like, but I'm dead already. And like she's like, you told me I wouldn't go to hell. Like I don't understand. And then like she like is bleeding out and he's like, oh no, where I'm from it's worse than that. don't worry.
Yeah.
No, you won't go there.
Yeah.
You'll go
I promised you
someplace
wouldn't go to hell. You're going worse than hell.
Yeah, so it's like she died once and now it's like, and now you'll die again. I was like, that sucks.
You'll die harder.
I hope she comes back. I feel really badly for her, like being resurrected as a character just to die constantly.
Yeah.
Essentially, they decide they're probably going to do this. Meanwhile, there's like this monologue that's been going on, this like, background conversation about like how it's like, this is all really bad and you're kind of part of like setting this all in motion and blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, like, I know you're not that bad. And, like, you're like, who the hell's talking to who? Yeah. And it's, it's the other Dr. Fate and he's chatting with Nabu and he's like, you gotta pull your ass, like your head out of your ass.
Right.
Man, and like help us out because like, this isn't going your way.
Yeah.
No matter what. And so like, he's gonna make a deal with it. This deal's happening, all this magic.
Yeah, it's nonstop deals.
Just deals. At the end of the day, what nobody seems to understand is that like, they're all really against the Upside Down Man. They're against this other world that's coming in here. But like, Cersei's so confident in herself and her ability to get Hecate's power and control Hecate's power that it's like, she's like, no, it's fine. Like, I am going to take control of magic and then I'm going to push them off and it's going to be cool. And like, I'm going to be in total control of everything. And how great is that?
Sure.
And like, it's never going to work out like that, Cersei. Okay?
It's not going to work out.
It's never going to work like that. So I think in the next issue, we're going to see either Dr. Fate return or the promise of like the next cover in which Diana is returned to her body seemingly, and like she will gain the power of Hecate and like also unlock all the power she has within her.
Okay.
And the image on the front is like 3 different Wonder Woman, which of course is that like symbol of Hecate, the 3 versions of her. And I'm like, oh, are we gonna get that? That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Didn't we see a glimpse of that in the first volume, Justice League Dark?
Yeah, no, we saw her like all powered out and stuff like that, but I think this is different, and like they're probably going to bring this to a close, like her ability to tap into this,
Yeah,
or they'll
probably.
forever change her character. I don't know. I'm gonna guess it's really
More likely they'll change the character forever because there's a crisis coming and they can do whatever they want.
Well, I'm sure they can, but I mean that would also reflect whatever's going on in the Wonder Woman book right now. I think that this is, for me, this feels like Tynion kind of putting all the toys back in the box.
Sure.
On the off chance he doesn't get back to this book. You know what I mean? Like we took away Dr. Fate. We don't have a Dr. Fate, but it looks like we're going to get another Dr. Fate.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, so, yeah, I think he's just kind of putting his ducks in a row here. The Year of the Villains obviously kind of come to a close.
Yeah.
He has to end the Witching War at this point.
Right.
And, you know, Cersei's got to get her ass trans, so...
Sounds dope. Yeah.
I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. Oh, and of course, Swamp Thing's still a mess. That,
no.
That Kirk, or not Kirk, that Bobo flings at somebody. He's just like, ugh. And I'm like, I really hope that was Swamp Thing and not something else.
Yeah. Otherwise,
Because
it's just
chimpanzee.
Yeah.
So.
Right. Well, I guess we could talk about X-Men.
I think we should.
X-Men number 4 came out.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool. There's not a lot of action, but like, who cares? Also, I don't know. When I first read it, I was like, didn't we just see this already? But so here's the deal. The 3 major heads of state, that is to say, Professor X, Magneto, and Apocalypse, go to meet with more heads of state. These are the ones who are more aggressive, the people who are like not agreeing to trade deals with Krakoa. And it's one of the first, like, here's Krakoa as a nation having one of them heads of state meetings that you hear so much about, and that people who read comics are definitely very interested in. But that said, it's a really interesting story because, like, the issue is basically just watch as Magneto swings his dick around and the other 2 try to catch up, because like Magneto literally is like, I've been waiting for this opportunity to tell people in charge that I'm in charge since I've got my powers.
I'm pretty sure Magneto has like said these things into the mirror several times.
He
like,
has
aloud.
rehearsed this experience. He has a monologue that he gives while he eats Wagyu beef.
Yeah.
And it's like, it is so quintessentially Magneto. I think if he were wearing the Magneto costume, it would be as memetic as the Doom Needs No One sequence.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I like them in the suits because it's disarming for everyone
oh
else.
yeah.
It's hilarious to see Apocalypse
in a suit. Yeah.
Like,
right.
Where did you get that?
Well, and I love how they're like, so do we call you N7 Nerd? Do we
Yeah.
call you Mr. Nerd? He's like, just call me Apocalypse, which I love because it's like, yeah.
Well, he says that because he's like, you're not worthy to say my other names.
Yeah, but also because like that's what I am.
Yeah, let's be.
That's what I'm going
honest.
to be.
Yeah. He also has a hilarious, like Futurama-esque moment.
Yes.
You know, where like, you
Oh
know,
my
what
God.
killed the dinosaurs?
Me.
Yeah, and like,
yeah.
what ended the Bronze Age?
Me. Like, okay. But yeah.
You know, this is like, I'll be perfectly honest with you. Like, I read this issue, like first few pages, I was like, okay. And like literally by like the 3rd page, I was like, I was so invested in where the story was going.
Yeah.
And like, I'll be honest, like I was really happy that Magneto took the lead on this because I'm kind of tired of listening to Charles like proselytize. So I was like, oh, thank God it's Magneto. He's way more suited to this.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is the role he was born to have.
Yeah, he's a statesman who gets to tell everybody that they're in charge
right.
now.
And he could also like kill you with a fork.
Yep.
Your own.
Right. But yeah, so the 2 stories are Magneto basically speaks for Krakoa while the other 2 eat. And
do they? I don't think Apocalypse has a bite.
I'm sure they don't. And I wouldn't, because like the food is probably poisoned. I was really expecting there to be a sequence where Magneto's like, where they're like, oh yeah, no, by the way, like, I changed the minds of the chefs to put the poison into the food before we got here.
You know, I am so glad they didn't do that. I had that same thought, but I was like, that's just so overdone, and that's not
That's
what
the
this is
thing.
at all.
I was really expecting
because
it
they
just
don't need the poison because they have another plan.
Right.
They have a whole other plan.
Yeah, the plan is way more subtle. It involves a bunch of dudes with guns jumping into the room and killing everybody. Except the trio brought their, like, attaché in the form of Gorgon, who drives me crazy he's here, and Cyclops.
Right.
And the two of them basically deal with two different, like, camps of bad guys.
And in two different ways. Honestly, the fact that they thought that they could get the drop on, and maybe they didn't.
You
use
didn't
metal
even
bullets,
need Cyclops.
But like you have Apocalypse and you have Magneto.
Yeah.
Like, and you're gonna use
Either of them.
guns. So either those guns are not made out of metal, which they clearly are because he uses his powers against them.
Yep.
Or you really didn't think this one through.
Yeah, and it required nothing but thinking.
Yeah.
Because this is like a really well organized plan. The dude has an earpiece that he's communicating with the other, like the statement. Is communicating with his squad through an earpiece. It's Magneto. Mm-hmm. This is shit you should be way too ready for at this point.
They were ready for like Professor X.
Yeah.
They were ready
Well,
for
they killed him
Xavier.
already.
Well, no, but they have like these diodes or whatever on their head that are preventing him from getting in there. So like he's like, I know where they are, but I can't tell you anything more about
And
that.
I can't
so,
turn them off.
So he's already like out of this.
Yeah, Scott,
fight.
be a lamb and go take care of that for me.
Yeah, which I love. That's great. But they thought that far.
Yes.
It's almost like they don't regard Apocalypse or Magneto.
Well, or they don't know what the hell to do.
Yeah, or maybe they're just so desperate they're like, we have to do something. Mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
like, so this is what we're gonna do.
Obviously, we can't like acquiesce to their plans, so let's just like
And
figure out how to kill one of them.
Right, it's clearly not all of them who are
No.
in on this. It's just one of the statesmen is clearly in on it.
Yep.
I kind of got the idea that it was from the U.S.
Yeah, I got that same feeling.
Now, to be fair, most of the X-Men's earlier adventures.
Oh no, it's completely.
usually-
It follows type.
It
No
really
question.
does. So, what's your beef with Gorgon?
Gorgon shouldn't be here. He's a monster. He's murdered children. No. Like,
Well-
and this is the thing. They established it well early. Like when Krakoa is established officially, Wolverine gives him a beer. So like it's a very clear gesture that Hickman is aware of because he picked Gorgon of all people.
Right.
So like we have that. That's there, and I know he's doing that on purpose. But for me, I'm like, no. There are some things that are unforgivable. You don't get to come to our magic island. But that being said, like Magneto's killed innocent people, Apocalypse killed innocent people, Professor X has killed innocent people,
Yeah.
Cyclops has killed innocent people. Like there's a lot of blood on these people's hands. I
Yeah.
guess if it's like, oh, we're all monsters, fuck it, let's all just live on this island together.
I guess, but like in this, we clearly see that something has changed within him.
Yes.
Like very much so. So like,
Right. But
it's that
yeah.
idea that Krakoa is like a place of like new ideas and new chances and second chances and whatever chances, however many
Yeah.
chances you might need. But it's also interesting because it's like it also shows that it's like no, but see, like Magneto's also changed. Like Magneto's like, sitting there.
He
he's
hasn't.
like,
He's the same guy. He's just wearing a suit now.
no, but he does say he's like typically like my thought on how to do this would be to like go to war with you and
Right.
fight you and take your weapons from them and use them against you.
Yeah.
But now I see that that's not how we do it here. Like
Yeah.
you guys
Oh.
really taught us, and I love that.
Oh, within the whole conversation, basically, Magneto's like, no, we're going to take the world from you the way you took the world yourselves. Like, we're going to use economics and cultural appropriation and shit to basically appropriate everything, subvert you. Like, and we're gonna use your own tools against you. And it was like, yeah, that's brilliant. Like, not even brilliant like as a plan. It's brilliant in its execution as a story and a narrative.
Yeah.
Like, it was cool. Another thing I want to focus on, we were really playing close to the chest with Charles wearing this big friggin' helmet.
like all the time.
And then recently, he's taken it off a lot.
Yeah.
And I think it's because he is projecting an image of Charles Xavier in other people's brains.
What?
I don't think it's Charles Xavier, or it's something else. Like
Oh.
but it's like it's supposed to be disarming. Like I pop it off, it's clearly Professor X behaving nothing like Professor X ever behaved.
Right.
And and he's like, no, but I am behaving like me because I still totally love you and I still like believe in the best of you, and I will be the downfall of mutant kind because I'm such an idiot and an idealist. At least that's what Myra McTaggart thinks. But I really, like, at this point, I was like, they really focused on Professor X taking off his helmet, and, like, he does it literally just to say, like, it's me, I'm still Professor X, and I love you, pop the helmet back on. I'm like, but the whole design of the helmet is so that we obfuscate his identity.
Yeah.
So why is it there? And I think it's because maybe it's like this Professor X either doesn't look like Professor X or whatever, but like he's projecting an image of Professor X into people's minds. I noticed that Magneto's not wearing the helmet anymore.
Well, he doesn't need to.
Well, he doesn't need to because he's not hiding from Charles, but now
Right.
I'm thinking there might be something else going on.
Okay.
I'm hopeful anyway. I've also noticed they've done a really excellent job of making Moira like kind of the whole driving force behind this entire series.
Yeah.
She's not in any of them.
No, she's not.
And I
here
love
anymore.
that because
Yeah.
like we're really holding on to that.
Well, because may or may not be like a mic drop moment.
Oh,
as
it
to
is.
What has she been up to? What is happening?
Yeah, we saw her one time in like one of the issues where she's got her own little place. We know we've seen
Yeah.
the map, but like she's not a player in any of these. Seemingly, although we know she is.
Yeah.
But it's exciting. I'm still digging this. X-Men became like a great like pull.
Yeah.
In only a couple issues.
No, it's true.
And
like,
of course, all these books are coming to an end.
Yeah.
So,
Well, what I thought was fascinating about this is that, like, obviously the, like, other books that are coming out around this have a lot more action going. And, like, that's an easier sell for a lot of people. Where
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, it's action-packed, things are happening, blah, blah, blah. This is literally just conversations. There is some action, but, like, not really. It's really about the conversation.
Well, the action punctuates the dialogue,
Yeah.
which is exactly the kind of shit I like.
Yeah.
This is like peak Bendis, but, like, smarter.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it. Like this is the kind of stuff that I live for when it comes to like we're changing the status quo through actual like smart character-driven dialogue and conversation.
Right. You know what's funny? Your issue with Gorgon and like how he's like adopted this new philosophy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still a monster in this.
Oh, yeah.
Because like what he chooses to do, he's like, typically I would have like taken your head. Like he's talking to one of the guys, and like you see around the guy, there's like arms and legs, and you're like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
And like he's like, no, my new philosophy is I like will leave you alive to live in your shame.
Right.
And to like.
At least that guy, or is it all of them?
All of them. They're
Yeah.
all just missing arms and legs.
Right.
Like, they're all down for the count.
Yeah.
But, like, they're all forever maimed. He's maimed everyone in this room.
Yeah.
Cyclops, like, blasted everybody, so they're
With
seemingly...
his concussive blast.
Yeah,
so he,
like, they're
he
probably
pushed
okay.
them hard.
I don't know. But all of these guys, that's it. They're not working here anymore.
They're not working anywhere anymore.
That's not true. I'm sure there are, like, plenty of, like, you know... There's
They might have
robotics and other
benefits.
such things, and yeah, they'll be fine, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I was just like, no, he's still a monster in his own way.
Right,
Like,
right.
he could have just knocked them all out,
Yes.
but he didn't.
No. But technically didn't kill them.
Didn't technically kill them.
So it
And
didn't break the
take,
law.
And he didn't take the like trophies with him. It's not like he not getting like a bag of arms and legs when he left.
These are mine. They belong to me now.
I took these from you.
Yeah. But good stuff. Highly recommended.
Yeah, this was an excellent issue.
Yeah.
Like, and if you're a Magneto fan, like
Oh, yeah.
I think you're gonna dig it.
You've been waiting for this one.
Yeah.
I'm going to reference some super chats here really quick.
Sure.
Cash Money in the Bank. We talked to you already, but thank you very much for your super chat. Christian Pereira says, hi and Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Ultimate is supposed to be a retreatment of the characters, but when Captain America becomes a militaristic, almost fascist patriot, it's betrayal of the character. I mean, when they started it out, yeah, that's how he looked. That's your problem when you give it to Mark Miller. But I think he eventually evened out until, he didn't. Until the universe ended.
I was looking through a wizard that you had at the house, and there's like a little sampling of, I guess, Ultimates of some kind in there, where
Yeah.
like it's the Shocker comes back and he doesn't remember who he is, and then like he kills a bunch of people in a hospital room.
Oh, no, it's Electro.
Electro,
Yes.
sorry.
Yeah, it's Ultimate 6.
Wrong, but yeah, so like he leaves, and then like he is immediately like knocked down, and like standing over him is like the Avengers, and like
It's the Ultimates.
it's the Ultimates, but it's the Avengers.
Yeah.
As far
Yeah,
as
it's
I know.
Cap, Thor, Iron Man.
And like Cap's face, I
my
was like,
God.
he looks like a monster.
Yeah, it was
Like,
drawn by Quesada,
But
so...
like he looks like, like I'm like, oh my God, you look like, Frank Castle put on Cap's outfit and like
Yes.
started running around punching everybody.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
like,
he is like a psycho.
he looks it. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Debashish Mahaptra says, just recently found out that Alfred's dead and Superman's revealed his identity. Why does that not make me feel a thing? Way to make me not care anymore. Yeah, like literally when Alfred died, I went like, oh, well, I hate this run. I hate the decisions you've made so far. Mm-hmm. So like, yeah, it's all par for the course. And also because like, I know there's a crisis coming, like that's like the biggest, hey, we're going to undo everything and probably undo a lot of other things you like. Ha 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 ha. Like, yeah, I'm really expecting that to happen anytime. So yeah, I feel the same way. The Superman identity, fuck it, do anything you want. We're gonna undo it, and then I'll get everything I've wanted because Tim Drake won't exist. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. By the way, I hear that King didn't want to kill Alfred. That like the reason why Alfred was like in other books and why he had that whole like Clayface plot in the actual book where he died was because like no, Alfred doesn't die, and folks upstairs were like, no, kill Alfred. It'll boost the sales.
That makes me feel way better because like seemingly like throughout the issues I've read of King's run, like he didn't seem to have a favorable like
opinion of Alfred
or his relationship with Bruce, and I thought that was like I'm like that's weirdly on the nose, man.
There's a more recent
really
issue
on the nose.
Well, Alfred's like will or whatever that he gives Bruce is like his love letter to Alfred.
Okay.
It's very sad, but also like you killed Alfred, so I really don't care what you have to say.
Right, but that again, that makes me feel better.
Yeah,
like it wasn't a vendetta.
No, Algie Try says the one. This one is for the awesome moderator Danielle, the behind-the-scenes backbone of the show. Thanks, Algie. I'm sure she appreciates it. Flywheel Shyster says, "Rarely catch it live. Always love the show. Thank you very much, Flywheel. Well, welcome to the show, man." Cash Money, gotta run, have some money for the bank. Thank you very much, Cash Money.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. And thank you for always being there. Cam Senses, I believe you're next. Yes, Cam Senses says, started my first day back of my last semester in college today.
You got it.
Congratulations, man.
You got this.
Stoked to come back and watch later. New set's great. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so
Welcome
much.
to the show after the fact. Thanks a lot for being here and for your support.
And good luck on the last semester. Finish strong.
Yeah, that's right. Finish strong.
Yeah.
But remember to have a good time. We can talk a little bit about New Mutants. There was a big trailer that came out. New Mutants for it's coming out April 3rd.
Yeah.
It was made 2-3 years ago, I believe 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we finally got a trailer. Well, we already had a trailer, but like now we got another trailer.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, they were able to basically throw away any of the Kinberg reshoots or reshoot attempts or expectations.
Right.
Because we don't really know how much they actually even reshot, because apparently like Kinberg had to go leave it anyway to go work on Dark Phoenix, which we all know how that turned out.
Right.
But the Disney's like, screw it. Just take the movie that you made and put that out.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, they did recut the trailer. There's a new trailer.
Uh-huh.
And this trailer is like, show them the things that you didn't put in the last trailer.
Yes!
One of those things, and I think the big thing that everyone's talking about is that magic.
Yes!
Is
literally, like, I was like, okay, cool, rest of the thing, like, a lot of, like, jump scare, stuff like that. Lady from Predators is in it.
Yes, and I Am Legend.
Literally, all I could remember her was from that. I was like, fine,
She's
whatever.
great, yeah, I like
cool,
Predators.
we're seeing, like, a lot of, like, you know, oh, this, like, you know, like, what they're... supposedly what their nightmares are coming to life, that kind of thing. I was like, very Silent Hill. I'm in, cool. And
Naturally.
then we see more of Magic first of all.
Yes.
Like we see her there, we hear her talk. She's got the hair. Like she looks like Magic.
Yeah.
Not like what the movie studio wanted to make her into or whatever.
They all look really good.
They all look really good.
I'm really like...
They all look really good. But Magic in particular, I was like, oh my god! Because like then we see her and she like puts her arm down and she gets the like armor coming down and then we see the beginnings of the sword. And I was like,
It's unexpected, and I was like, well, but you know what? Like, good for you guys.
oh, it's
like,
awesome!
And I think that it's also like for Disney, it's funny because it's like a testing ground. Not that it'll be like retconned into the MCU in any
Not
way,
necessarily.
but I think it's a good testing ground and a better testing ground than Deadpool 2 recut to be PG-13.
Right. And that's funny you mentioned that because I was like, well, it probably won't be retconned to that, but Deadpool might mention it.
I would expect, but with this, I think that like, by the way, they could also make it rated R.
They could,
and be like, let's see, because you know what studio I didn't see in the front of that in the trailer? Disney.
No,
it's Fox.
It's true. I think it's actually posted on their YouTube page on the Fox one. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. That's smart for them because like Disney always shies away from R. I get it. It's part of their brand. It's frustrating for those of us who like to see maybe some R properties that like they own at this point. They do have ways of skirting around that by putting it through other companies. But of course,
it would be easy to fix.
It would be easy to fix. But that's a good call on their part. To do it that way. Otherwise, like I don't know. I don't know what my hopes are for this necessarily because of the fact that it has been like sitting on a shelf for a couple of years.
Well, and like it was clearly made as a reaction to like the diminishing returns for the proper X-Men franchise and the big returns of like the Logan and Deadpool franchises.
Right.
So they were like, okay, let's do this, and it's clearly just like another thing, and it's in that kind of in that universe, but it's more like here's something else. And so I think it's a perfect movie to put out because it's like because it is such an autonomous thing that has a baseline of I know what a mutant is. Moving on,
right. They're also like it's interesting too because like they're going to be tapping the potential horror movie going audience, which is a strong showing. Whether or not they're going to jump onto this or not is really up to them.
Yeah.
But this opens the door because it's like these aren't characters anyone has seen before on film.
Yeah.
And so like they could just go just for the horror elements of it and then never get anything from it ever.
No,
again.
but I think that it's a smart move I think it's a smart move because I think Disney's lost money on every Fox property that came out since the acquisition.
Right.
In the movies that were already made. With this, make it R-rated, like make it the purest, most like we were gonna make this no matter what, no change whatsoever release.
Yep.
Just to see if it was ever gonna be viable and see because you don't want to take it like Black Widow should be R-rated. Deadpool should be R-rated. Like these are movies that should be R-rated because like it deals with that kind of subject matter.
Yeah.
Moon Knight should not be a Disney Plus show. It should be a friggin' hardcore show. Although seeing The Mandalorian, hey, maybe it'll actually be better.
Like depending on who's shooting it and who's like writing it, it could be. It could actually be better than we expect.
Yeah, Daredevil from Netflix would have been as close to R-rated in the MCU as possible.
Yeah.
This is a way for you not to have to test that with a franchise that could be just as lucrative if you made it PG-13 or more.
Right.
By just putting this out as an R-rated movie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And also like they're saving themselves from like dealing again like you mentioned like the eventual like use of X-Men. The eventual use of mutants because like they don't actually have to adhere to this because like that was a Fox movie.
Yeah.
We don't have to use this. You know, like they can kind of absolve themselves of that. And like, let's be honest, they already paid for it.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? You already paid for it. And let's be honest, you didn't pay for that movie. You paid to get those characters back and to get other franchises under your like house there, the House of Mouse.
Right.
And to make further movies out of them. This isn't going to hurt you either way. So like you said, like, yeah, put it out as a hard R. Like just put it out that way because the money's been spent, man. Like,
that's the thing. It's already been spent, and like, how much are you really expecting to make off of like a movie you inherited that was made 3 years ago on a dead franchise?
Yeah.
Now that being said, it could just be PG-13. They could have shot it for PG-13. I mean, but it was
Which
made
is
in
unfortunate.
it was made in a post Logan, post Deadpool world. So it could have been that like all they have to do is like have the director stick a couple of things in there. Or just not have to cut it down.
Cut it that way or what have you. A lot of times directors will push for things and then in the editing room they'll just scale it back. But like it would have been nice because like to make a horror movie PG-13, I mean you can do it.
They do it all the time because that's how they make their money. Apparently, according to the chat specifically, it's PG-13. But according to the trailer, if you watch it, it says this film is not yet rated, which is why I'm going on that discussion in the first place. But you know.
Well, I mean, regardless, it's still a fun thought discussion to have.
No, it's not. It's not worth having. If you're wrong, it's not worth talking about.
No, it is. Listen, people, this is how creativity comes about.
No, it's not.
This is what literally back in the day. This is like what the Greeks would do. They'd sit around and just talk about shit that was probably wrong.
Yeah.
But like the point was to have the conversation, was to explore.
Some young dude in a toga runs in. I have these tablets. They say that you're wrong already. Stop having the conversation. It's over.
But regardless, like no matter what, I hope that they just put the movie out. Let it be what it's supposed to be. Let it be a horror movie.
Seems like that's the plan.
Let it do what it needs to do, and then you know what? We had this,
and then it's out.
And like good or bad. It's out. Like, you didn't pay to make it. You bought the studio, and then you're going to make whatever you want to make over there.
It's true.
But, like, these people worked on this, and no matter how good or not,
yeah,
it's like, it is what it is at this point. And, like, I always feel badly because it's like, you know, we see bad films, and, like, we talk about bad films, and it's fun to, like, make fun of bad films and all that. But, like, at the same time, it's like, you like... I feel for these people because they put time and effort into it.
Oh, I know.
Sometimes it's a cash grab, and then I feel a little less bad about it. But like sometimes people really work hard on these things, and like this is one of those films where it's like it almost never saw the light of day.
Oh,
These
yeah.
people worked on this.
I was pretty convinced it was never going to come out.
Right.
The thing, also the director, I don't think he's worked on more than a few projects. So I'm like really excited to see like this big screen.
And that's excellent because it's like sometimes you get the best stuff from a person like that who's hungry.
Yeah.
And then like you may never get that again.
Right.
Because it's like once that person finds success, then they're constantly trying to recapture it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they can and sometimes they can't. And so like I'm not saying this movie's gonna be great. I'm not saying this movie's gonna be good. I'm not saying it's gonna be bad.
The thing is,
like,
I don't know dick about it because like we didn't really get much.
No, I just want to see it, and I want to like I want to see some X-Men not attached to all of the X-Men history.
Right.
I don't know if that's what we're gonna get here. I don't know how standalone this is going to be, what they're gonna reference or not. But like, it's kind of cool that presumably we'll see. I guess that this movie won't have like
Wolverine in
it, you know? Like, it's...
We will get Wolfsbane.
That's fine.
Which is cool.
I'm okay. Who's the young guy in it? I've seen him in stuff.
He's the kid from Stranger Things.
I thought so.
He's the older brother.
Yeah. I was like, it's him.
Yeah.
He's a very distinct look.
He does.
And I was like, it's you, Stranger Things. How you doing?
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to seeing it. Of course, we'll talk about it, and we're gonna have a couple of tie-ins on this channel to New Mutants because the last Fox mutant property.
Yeah, that's coming out in March?
April 3rd is when the movie comes out.
Okay.
We'll be coming with stuff that week.
I'm saying that because it's like it would it'd be really easy to put this out January, February.
Yeah.
That's when a lot of like
you should. That's when studios dump their garbage.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say you also sometimes see like a kind of influx of some horror movies.
Yes.
Now,
that's
like,
when you put out a horror
it's
movie.
The schlock, you put it out there.
Agreed.
You're gonna see it at some point.
I know.
Probably if you like that kind of thing. So the fact that they're not, maybe they think it's better.
It could be that they don't have any faith in Black Widow because Black Widow comes out a month later. And they're like, fuck. Put out 2 within the same month, and maybe together they'll make enough for us to have justified.
I mean, I guess it could have, but like, it just could be that maybe when they went back and they took the reshoots out, they were like, "This is stronger than we originally had thought it was," and like, let's just put it out there at like this time period. So like, that's kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. Look, we're getting magic and like Wolfsbane and
that's
like
cool.
Mutants that you never.
Danny Moonstar.
Yeah, like these mutants that you never expect to see.
Yeah. Jack O'Connell says, "Hi guys, hope you get a great New Year. You too, man. Got to say the New Mutants trailer looked cool. I got excited when I saw Magic Soul Sword. Yeah. What? Alfred's dead? Yeah, sorry. But the run's over, so feel free to check it out. And Brother of Lucha Dandy says, just sending my support. Love you guys for the hours of entertainment you've been giving me since I found you in 2018. Thank you very much. And glad you've been here for so long. 2 years now, man. Thank you. Yeah.
Welcome to a whole new decade of entertainment. This is not representative of the entertainment.
Yeah.
What I just did there.
No. That's okay. Let's recommend some books that are coming out this week.
Let's get away from what I just did.
Let's just do something else. But there's a lot of books that come out this week. I'm recommending out of the slew of Dawn of X runs. The only one I gotta recommend is New Mutants #5.
Right? How confusing is this going to be for everybody?
I love New Mutants #5. X-Force #5 is also coming out. I'm gonna recommend that one too. It's getting better.
Okay.
But I know it's the weird thing is it's so important, and yet Ben Percy's the one who's writing it. Like, meh. But New Mutants, I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
So, New Mutants.
All right.
Also, The Amazing Mary Jane #4 is coming out from Leah Williams. That was announced that this is not going to be a 6-issue mini. Instead, it's going to keep going.
It's an ongoing?
It's an ongoing until it gets canceled.
Until it's not.
Until it gets canceled in like 3 issues. But
in 7 issues instead.
Yeah. But now but there is a solicitation for issue 7. So at the very least, we'll probably get till issue 10, maybe 12.
Yeah.
But it's cool. Like good for them. It's a fun little story. It's basically just like, hey, I'll get it's like if Web of Spider-Man was being published again.
Yeah.
Just, hey, another one. Batman 86 is the first issue of James Tynion IV's run on Batman until it is unceremoniously canceled, so that the guy who wrote 12 Years a Slave can take over for Batman. But in the meantime, here's a run, and it's going to be really frustrating when the Batman sales go right back up, and then they're like, hey, let's change horses midstream. Let's change Batman's midstream.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in the meantime, enjoy this book.
Hey, good for Tynan for getting his shot.
I know.
So, like, that's great.
Yeah.
Writing the main Batman title.
He's been doing a great job with Detective.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. Deathstroke's going to be the main bad guy in this run. But yeah, and I kind of dig Tony S. Daniels' art. I think I've heard a lot of people being like, ugh. And I'm like, what? It looks cool. I don't know. I think it's good.
It's a taste thing.
Yeah. But I'm excited.
And not like good or bad. I mean, like, your taste
right.
to someone else.
No, it's true. Yeah. But Batman 86 is the beginning of Tynan's run. I'm definitely checking that out. Symbiote Spider-Man Alien Reality is out. It's number 2 of 5. This book should be a must-buy.
Okay.
But Greg Land has been drawing this series in the last series, and it's so goddamn bad looking. It's unforgivable. Peter David wrote Spider-Man back in the day, too, among some other amazing writers, like Fingeroth and Michelinie and, like, DeMatteis. This should be a pickup for everybody who's a Spider-Man fan. And then they put Greg Land on it. Never been late, never been delayed. The only reason he's still writing is drawing this book. But I'll wait for this book if it looks better. But it doesn't, and it's never going to. So pass.
Okay.
But I'm just so angry that they, like, put Greg Land on this book.
Right.
Because that's... Like, anyone who's a Spider-Man fan is like, yay! I love this era. I want it.
If Greg Land saw you at a con, he'd punch you in the face.
Maybe.
Hey, are you Sal?
He would probably have... someone else would have to punch me in the face, too, to know how to do that. Anyway.
Wow.
I'm sorry. It's just...
That was funny.
It's just not good enough.
It's all right.
Yeah.
I'm going to recommend Excalibur number 5, which is coming out next week, because I like Excalibur. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, listen, it is everything that it's doing right. Everything that it's doing is doing correctly.
Yeah.
It's just
it's not for you.
on my
I get
radar.
It. That's fine. I'm also going to recommend Deadpool number 2. Written by Kelly Thompson with art by Chris Bocciolo. It's like a book just for me, I swear. I'm also going to recommend Conan Serpent War number 3. It's 3 of 4 of Jim Zub's magnum opus.
Yeah.
About Conan and other characters that only he remembered.
Right.
Dollhouse Family number 3, Mike Carey Hill House Black Label book is coming out. So if you like the Mike Carey Vertigo runs, you might dig this. It's on number 3, so go back and grab the rest of them. And then if you could imagine, the Joe Hill train is not stopping.
No. I noticed.
There's another Joe Hill book coming out. What I like about these is the horror within them are all a little different.
Right.
And so what I dig about it is that it like if you like a specific style of horror, one of them might be for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is another Black Label Hill House comic called Daphne Byrne.
Oh yeah, I saw that on the list.
Daphne Byrne is going to take place in the 19th century in New York. It's going to focus on a girl who has lost her father, is alone. Her mother is grief-stricken. I guess she's not really alone, but she's kind of alone because her mother's grief-stricken. And then she realized there's like something within her, like an entity of some kind called brother, and what does it want?
Oh no! Is it gonna run wild over her?
Exactly. It's written by Laura Marks. If you don't know who that is, she's a TV writer. She's written for Ray Donovan, The Expanse, and The Good Fight. So
you'll probably like it.
Some high marks there.
Those are all fan favorite series.
Now here is where it's going to blow you away that I'm reading this book.
Yeah. Okay.
The art is by Kelly Jones.
Oh no. Kelly Jones, famed Batman writer,
Batman,
artist.
Red Rain, Sandman. Yeah, he's been around. I'm not always a fan of his work.
No.
But I want to read this book, so I'm gonna give it a
I'm
shot.
gonna
And
endure
hopefully,
his art.
Kelly, I think really shines when he does horror. So I'm hoping that we get a lot of that here. Those really shining moments that he's really good at the atmospheric stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of background stuff, that kind of thing.
Right.
It's usually in his people that I struggle, and of course this is about people, so we'll see. I mean, he could stylistically have gone for a very specific look.
Right.
So yeah.
Concept Court in our super chats helped us out and said
Oh,
a little
thank
money
you.
for you guys who deserve much more. Happy New Year! Thank you very much.
Thank you so
man.
much. Thank you.
Thank you. What was the other thing I wanted to talk about? I guess that's it.
Was that all that there was?
Oh, did you read the Sandman book with the return of a new character, Sandman number 17? I think
I did not.
you should. first few pages, they brought back
It's the Dreaming, by the way.
Dreaming, I'm sorry. Well, it shouldn't be called that.
No, it is, because there used to be a Dreaming book.
Oh, that's right.
There used to be a Dreaming book. No, I'll have to go grab that.
You'll have to read it. The first few pages.
I'm not gonna lie, I fell off.
Oh yeah. No. But
Don't tell me.
No,
I'll see for myself.
Yeah, but we want to thank you all so much.
Wait, you think it's in the preview?
Yeah.
Oh, I should look right now.
Yeah. Well, before we go, I wanted to thank our super chatters for supporting us and sponsoring this episode. We are so lucky and indebted to having you. Thank you all so much for supporting this episode and us here. Thank you all so very, very much for your generosity. And we will see you all next time. Okay, then we'll see you all next time here on Comic Pop. Like this video if you did enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to watch more of them. Of course, if you're digging this stuff, there's more to come. We're going to have an episode of Back Issues coming out on Wednesday. We're going to have Elseworlds Exchange, another podcast we do that's live, and then, uploaded for posterity.
And then not live later.
Yeah, where we talk about one topic for about an hour. That's not she and I, but it will be me and someone else. I think Cape Joel, probably. Oh. If you haven't already, by the way, maybe 2 weeks ago, we pre-recorded an episode of Elseworlds Exchange in which Ben and Ethan and I all talked about the state of YouTube in 2020.
It wasn't just that, is my understanding.
No.
There are several tangents in there which really have nothing to do with that topic.
No, we talk about potential sponsors and advertising. We talk shop / go off. It's a lot of fun. I think you're really going to enjoy it.
My understanding is there are definitely some ones at the end that are hilarious in terms of tangents.
Yes. So it does behoove you to stick around till the end. But thank you all so much for everything. We are so lucky to have you. We're really looking forward to 2020 here on this channel because, every year is a new beginning, and
it's a new decade.
Yeah. Hey, listen, new set. New ideas. We're trying some stuff out. All the shows are going to look a little bit different. I changed the lighting on Back Issues. GBU is going to look a little different. Off the Rack, Elseworlds Exchange, plus new shows, plus more green screen on the info dump shows where we tell you stuff or what's going on. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the state of Comic Pop in 2020,
Me too.
and hopefully you'll stick around with us and go along with us on the journey. But, that's it. So, thanks a lot for watching. Hang out with us. Thank you, Tiffany, for being on the show.
Of course.
And we'll see you guys next time with an all-new episode of Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
So long, everybody.
Bye, guys.